Stress and anxiety are unfortunately very prominent in our society right now. And it's common to get so stuck in a cycle of the same negative thoughts and worries that we become trapped and we start to feel debilitated to the point where we're not able to give quality attention and energy to the things that we care about or to the things that we need to do. We're not able to see the positives around us. We're not able to feel joy. We're not able to feel happy and centered because we're stuck in our heads thinking about worries that only really exist in our heads. They're not in our current realities. And that's what most worries are. They're really just thoughts that only exist in our minds. And we tend to put all of our focus and energy on something that we don't even want to happen. And that causes us to neglect the things in our life that we actually care about and that we actually want to happen. And more importantly, it causes us to neglect this present moment, which is the most important thing. Do you ever have those days where you have so many worries and negative thoughts on your mind, or maybe just one worry that keeps recurring, that you can't stop thinking about, and you're stuck in this cycle of not only thinking these thoughts, but feeling negative emotions because your body is trapped in this reality that you're creating in your head, that you're not actually living in. You may decide to read or go on a walk or stretch or do something that tries to get your mind off of it, but the thought persists and it sabotages your day and it sabotages the way that you feel. This happened to me the other day, and that's why I was inspired to make this video today. I was so stuck in a cycle of thinking about these same few worries that haven't even happened yet, by the way, or anxiety about moments that happened in the past that I can no longer change. And I wanted so badly to get out of it. And I did this exercise that I do sometimes when I'm stuck in a state of stress and anxiety. And it actually kind of helped. It helped me to let go of those thoughts and move on. So if you're like me, I promise you this exercise actually helps, even if it's just a little bit. But first, let's talk about what do negative thoughts and worries even stem from? Well, they're a natural response to threats in our environment because our brain is wired for survival. But the problem with humans is that we don't just worry and stress about things that are in our present environment, but we think about things that haven't even happened yet, or we get stuck in something that already happened. There's a wise quote that says, worrying is like praying for something that you don't want to happen. There really is no good reason to cycle around the same negative thoughts. And I think we all have that understanding, but usually we just don't know how to get out of that cycle, how to break out of that cycle. So here I present to you with a simple exercise that really does work. You're gonna sit down with a paper and pen. I want you to write down the first worry or negative thought that comes to mind. Then ask yourself 2 questions. Is this something that can be fixed? And if so, what are the steps that I can take to fix it? And if you've sat there and you really can't think of any solutions to this problem, you may ask yourself a 3rd question. How can I accept this or view it in a different way? This may seem so simple and obvious, but rarely do people actually sit down and think through their problems and think through solutions, because often whatever we are worried about or can't stop thinking about, usually there is some kind of at least short-term solution to this problem, and we know that. But because we haven't sat through and worked it out, the thought persists. It won't go away. It's like trapped energy. But if we actually sit there and think about all of the possible solutions, the problem begins to shrink. And that thought, that negative energy that's trapped in our mind and body is able to be released, is able to be set free because now we can see past this problem. And it doesn't make the problem or the worry go away completely. Of course, you may still think about it, or it may still make you sad, or whatever the issue is, but it doesn't feel as debilitating and you don't feel as trapped in that cycle anymore because your mind is able to logically see past this problem. If you can't think of any solutions, write down why it's going to be okay and how you will accept it, and then move on to the next worry that comes up. For example, you may have a lot of anxiety because you're scared to go to work because you know that your boss doesn't like you. And this is affecting your everyday life because you're always feeling on edge. You're always feeling anxious because you have to report to this job 5 days out of the week and you don't feel comfortable going. A solution to this problem may be, I will just do my very best. And if my best is not good enough for my boss, then I won't let that affect me because I know my worth and I know my strengths, even if others don't recognize them. The worst that can happen is I may get fired, and that will lead me to finding a different job. and that could be the best thing for me, a job that I may be better at and enjoy more. Often when we see no solutions to our problems, there are ways to accept it. We just might not be seeing that at the time. We usually dramatize the issues in our lives, and we make them seem so much worse than they are in our heads. Because in this situation, for example, in reality, we could just not let what our boss thinks of us affect us, because we know our worth, we know that we're doing a good job, and if things don't work out at this job, then we know it's for the best. This is not only about working through the solutions, but practicing acceptance. After you do this exercise, I'm not saying that you'll stop thinking about it completely or that it will no longer bother you. You could be struggling with something that's really difficult, and your feelings are valid. But maybe after this exercise, it might be a little bit less of a burden, and it may allow you to move forward. The real goal here is really just working on practicing acceptance. Acceptance is really a way of life, not being in resistance and allowing life to unfold the way that it does, and purely witnessing life before you. Of course, living with this mindset can be easier said than done and may require a lot of inner work, but this exercise may allow you to take steps towards viewing your life that way and accepting your circumstances, letting go and moving forward. Thank you so very much for joining me in today's video. I really hope this video added value to you. If it did, it would mean the world to me if you gave it a like, if you commented down below, or if you shared it with anyone that you feel could benefit from it. That really helps support me in the YouTube algorithm, because I am a small creator at the moment and I want this video to reach others who need to hear it. And also, if you would like to join me on my journey of healing and personal development, then feel free to subscribe to this channel. My goal is to create a safe space for people to come to learn, to grow, and to heal. So if you'd like to be a part of that, then make sure to subscribe, and I really hope that I see you in my next video. Peace, love, and blessings to you all.